Imagine a world where two identical slices of pizza suddenly become unequal just because they're arranged differently on the plate. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? However, this is exactly how young children perceive quantity, according to the groundbreaking work of Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget on the conservation of numbers. Now let's introduce our characters: Lily, Sophie, Pearl, Bethan, Alisa, Delilah, and Arun. Each will guide us in understanding different facets of Piaget's theory. Visualize this scenario. Lily and Sophie are seated on park bench. Lily owns 5 apples, which she organizes in a long row. Sophie, conversely, has an identical number of apples, but hers are clustered closely together. Is Sophie still smiling? Looking at Lily in the pre-operational stage of cognitive development, who strongly believes she has more apples because her line of apples is longer. This instance aptly embodies Piaget's concept of non-conservation, illustrating the struggle children below 7 typically have with understanding that quantity stays constant irrespective of changes in arrangement or shape. Now let's move on to Pearl and Bethan. Pearl is seen pouring the same amount of juice into 2 identical glasses. Can you confirm that Bethan is awake? Despite equal distribution, Pearl insists that Bethan has more juice because her glass appears taller. This example sheds light on the lack of comprehension of volume conservation in young children, adding another facet to Piaget's. Shifting focus to Alisa and Delilah, engrossed in their clay games. Alisa skillfully rolls her clay into a long, thin snake, and Delilah, on the other hand, molds hers into a compact ball. Even though they receive the same amount of clay, Alisa is convinced has more because her snake is lengthier. This is fascinatingly a classic display of non-conservation of mass, where children perceive quantity with shape. Is Sophie still smiling in the corner? Finally, we showcase Arun. He's immersed in a playful activity with 12 pieces of coins, manipulating them into various formations. Occasionally he scatters them, and at other instances he heaps them on top of one another. Regardless of the structure, Arun, currently in Piaget's concrete operational stage, understands that the quantity of the coins stays consistent. He personifies the principle of conservation, resulting from growth and cognitive development. Piaget's theory on the conservation of numbers isn't just academic, it has real-life implications. It helps educators design age-appropriate learning activities. It assists parents in understanding their child's cognitive development. It is essential to understand how this work fits into the broader context of developmental psychology. This study is deeply connected with Blackwell and Dweck's work on the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. Piaget put forth 4 stages of cognitive development: the sensoromotor stage, the pre-operational stage, the concrete operational stage, and the formal operational stage. These stages represent different periods of a child's life, where they comprehend and interact with their surroundings in unique ways. For Piaget, cognitive development is not just about learning new facts or abilities. It's about the biological evolution of the mind and how we structure our thoughts and interpret the world around us. Interestingly, groundbreaking work was based on a relatively small sample size, featuring his own 3 children. This has led to some debate and discussion about the credibility and universality of his theories. Nonetheless, Piaget's insights into children's cognitive development have been extremely valuable. They have established the foundation for a large portion of the research and practices in developmental psychology today. So as we dive further into cognitive development and learning theories, remember that our mindset and perceptions are not fixed. They evolve and grow, just like we do. This evolution, as demonstrated by Piaget's work, is an enthralling journey of discovery and understanding. Like any theory, Piaget's work on the conservation of numbers has faced its fair share of criticism. Certain detractors argue that his research methods lack scientific rigor due to his small sample size and reliance on his own 3 children. Some voices in the field believe that his stages of cognitive development are too rigid, not able to account for the vast variations and complexities of human cognition and learning. They argue that Piaget underestimated the cognitive abilities of children, more so in the pre-operational stage. Yet, despite these criticisms, it's crucial to remember that Piaget's work has greatly impacted the field of cognitive developmental psychology. His theories have ignited a multitude of studies, debates, and have encouraged researchers to probe deeper into the enigmas of the human mind. His work has molded the way we comprehend learning and cognitive development, illuminating how our minds progress. Even with the criticisms, Piaget's work remains a pillar of our understanding of cognitive development. It's a testament to the idea that theories, even when they are not perfect, can propel us forward, instigate new ideas, and enhance our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Good morning, everyone. Before we embark on today's enlightening lesson, let's take a moment to acknowledge each one of you. Aaron, Delilah, Alisa, Bethan, Pearl, Sophie, and Lily. When I grow up, I want to be like you. Today, we're delving into the realm of psychological problems as scrutinized by Daniel Weinberger Jones and their esteemed team back in 1991. Why? Because I care, of course. But before we delve deeper into their findings, let's lay down some foundational knowledge about how our brains operate. Now, imagine your brain as a complex network of roads and pathways bustling with traffic. These roads, known as neurons, are the building blocks of our brain's communication system. When we think, feel, or move, electrical signals zip through these neurons, traveling along pathways called synapses. Bethan, all good. Enter amphetamines. These stimulant drugs, like amphetamines, hijack these pathways, causing an influx of activity in our central nervous system. Picture them as the rush hour traffic jamming up those neural pathways. Specifically, dextroamphetamine, a type of amphetamine, revs up the dopamine system in our brain. Dopamine, often dubbed the feel-good neurotransmitter, plays a crucial role in regulating our mood, motivation, and reward. With dextroamphetamine on the scene, dopamine floods our brain, sending us into overdrive. This surge in dopamine can lead to heightened arousal, increased alertness, and a boost in energy levels. Alisa peekaboo. However, this frenzied activity can disrupt the delicate balance of neurotransmitters in our brain, akin to throwing a wrench into the gears of a well-oiled machine. This imbalance may pave the way for various psychological disturbances, including schizophrenia. But before we delve into that connection, let's pause for a moment to appreciate each of you for your active participation. Your engagement not only elevates our discussions, but also fosters a vibrant learning environment. Keep up the fantastic work, everyone.
Aujourd'hui, we will delve into the effect of amphetamine on regional cerebral blood flow during cognitive activation in schizophrenia. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. When we talk about amphetamine, we must understand its connection to dextroamphetamine and dopamine and their impact on the brain, especially in relation to schizophrenia. Amphetamine increases the release of dopamine. This increase in dopamine levels can lead to changes in regional cerebral blood flow during cognitive activation in individuals with schizophrenia. This is significant as it sheds light on the neurological aspects of schizophrenia and its link to dopamine dysregulation. But understanding the link between amphetamine, dopamine, and schizophrenia is essential in unraveling the mysteries of the human brain and psychological disorders, amphetamine, dopamine, and schizophrenia, amphetamine, dopamine, and schizophrenia, amphetamine, dopamine, and schizophrenia, amphetamine, dopamine, and schizophrenia.
Ever thought about what makes us who we are? What drives our thoughts, our feelings, our actions? It all boils down to a 3-pound organ inside our skull, the brain. It's the powerhouse of our existence, the epicenter of our being. Imagine a bustling city with millions of interactions happening every second. Now multiply that 1,000-fold. That's the brain for you. It's an intricate network of billions of neurons, each communicating with thousands of others, shaping our thoughts, our emotions, our very sense of self. It's the very core of who we are, the essence of our identity. Now, this brain, this intricate and powerful organ, is divided into several parts, each with a unique role. From the fear-inducing amygdala to the memory-storing hippocampus, from the decision-making frontal lobe to the sensation-interpreting parietal lobe. Delve with us into the fascinating world of the brain. The brain, a seemingly compact organ, is an intricate network of interconnected parts, each with its distinct function. We'll begin our exploration with the cerebrum, the largest part of the brain. Nestled right at the top, it's the powerhouse of our higher cognitive functions, learning, thinking, perception, and so much more. However, the cerebrum is not just a singular entity. It's further segmented into 4 key areas: the frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal lobes. The frontal lobe, situated right at the front of the brain, is particularly noteworthy. Within it lies the frontal cortex, which plays a pivotal role in decision-making, problem-solving, and strategic planning, shaping our personality traits in the process. Moving back, we find the parietal lobe. Positioned just behind the frontal lobe, it holds the key to our spatial awareness and navigates us through our physical surroundings. The occipital lobe, resting at the back of the brain, is the command center for our visual processing system. It interprets the images and colors we see into meaningful. Lastly, the temporal lobes are found on each side of the brain, serving as the main components in memory and auditory processing. They decipher the sounds we hear and aid us in storing and retrieving memories. From there we descend to the cerebellum. Although much smaller and tucked under the cerebrum, it's no less significant. Essentially our personal motor control center, the cerebellum orchestrates our movements and maintains our balance and posture. Lastly, we reach the brainstem. This essential structure not only connects the cerebrum and spinal cord, but also plays a crucial role in controlling automatic functions like breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. It's here that the neurotransmitter dopamine operates, influencing our blood pressure and contributing to the intricate web of neuronal activity. The brain's structures, with their unique functions, intertwine to form the complex tapestry of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. From the way we perceive the world around us to how we react to it, each is shaped by the intricate symphony of neuronal activity within these structures. So, there you have it. The brain, a marvel of nature, a complex labyrinth of structures, each contributing a critical role in defining us. Remember, understanding our brain equates to understanding our very selves.